All right, we got to get to the politics of, I'm not even going to say it. Yeah, we're going to point to the elbow. First of all, we should put a gate around the word gate at the end of all
Yeah, let's
these.
not do any gates.
Okay.
So, we're not gonna do it.
Here's the question. What are the long-term fallout of this whole controversy over Justin Trudeau as he strides across the floor, get the F out of my way, grabs the Conservative whip, elbows Ruth Ellen Brosseau, the NDP MP, shouting match with Mulcair, the apology. What are the political consequences of this for Trudeau?
These things are always cumulative and sequential, right? Now, if something is an isolated episode in politics, it amounts to nothing. So what are the possibilities for this being cumulative? It's if this becomes a moment where people think, oh, maybe Trudeau's a little bully-like, a little pushy, he wants his own way all the time. And if you think about the biggest consequence would be if that gets attached to, and I'm going to jump to another issue here, electoral reform. Look at the question period after that day of turmoil in the House. The Tories went immediately to hammering the Liberals on the electoral reform plan. So the question is, can this moment be linked to a bigger pattern? And that would be the biggest part of the pattern.
Yeah, I think this is very off-brand. For the last 7 months, they've perfected the brand of the well-articulated viral moment, and he is the empathetic, open, transparent guy. But and people haven't been paying attention. That hasn't been the case inside Parliament. And this so-called Motion 6 has been one of them, this motion to give more control to the government over parliamentary debate. And in fact, this really shows a very off-brand moment for Trudeau. He realized it. They went into damage control very quick by backing off, which is very rare for a majority government, backing off on Motion 6. I think it's got long-term consequences because it motivates the opposition. They've been looking for a way. How do you trap this guy? He's been flying high in the polls for 7 months. Suddenly they realize he's more vulnerable.
How do you create a counter-narrative to the one he's been dodominating?
All right, okay, so on that, what about the opposition, though?
I think they misplayed it. The way to play this was not, we're outraged. We find him menacing and threatening and bullying. That's not going to stick to Trudeau. What might stick is he's immature. He has a short fuse. He will throw a tantrum. He's childish. Those are all going back to brand vulnerabilities he had a long time ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And if they played to that, I think that would be a way to make it stick. I think saying we're outraged, we're frightened of him, anyone who looks at that video is going to go, no, that's not a moment where he looked frightening or menacing.
I disagree on one element. I disagree because I think they actually played it very well, immediately linking it to the legislative agenda, specifically around the debate around assisted dying, and they got the Liberals to climb down on Motion 6. They said, if your apology to be really sincere, pull back. And that really forced the Liberals to change their tactics, and that will delay the assisted dying legislation. But
I'm with you on House tactics, but not on Trudeau's image.
Well, I think there was an element of the NDP on that side where they suggested that he'd attacked a woman and a woman had felt unsafe. It was clearly inadvertent. That won't stick. And it was inadvertent when he hit Ruth Ellen Brosseau. I mean, he got himself in that position, but I don't think he, quote, attacked a woman.
No.
I understand that narrative. But I actually think they played it well because they got Trudeau and a majority government to climb down. Long-term consequences legislatively.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that their assisted dying legislation was going to get through by the June 6th deadline that the Supreme Court had set. The Senate was not going to go for that. So in a sense, I think the consequence of this is just it pushes it later into June, maybe to the very end of June, maybe even into July, which was going to happen anyway.
All right, that's all we got. Long weekend, you know?
Yeah.
Things are getting hot on Parliament Hill anyway.
Nice to be here with you.